Okay, let me get started today. What will I do today here? I'm sitting by my library. Maybe I'll read a little bit of my art history. My library. I've got, well, what will I do here? I've got the books I have. Here's one that's Art and Culture around 1492. And gosh, that was the year Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and everything changed in that year. And and then right next to it is a book called 1491. It says New Revelations of the Americas before Columbus. Oh, so this is about the indigenous peoples of America. So this is about here and forward, and in the early days, uh, just before we came here to America, and this other one is as art and culture around 1492, and that's so what am I looking at here? This says art and culture around 1492, Expo 92, Seville. 1992 Seville Universal Exposition, Art and Culture around 1492. The theme of Expo 92, the 1992 Seville Universal Exposition, is the age of discoveries, i.e., the scientific, technological, and cultural achievements of mankind over the last 500 years from the from the voyages of Columbus to our own times. All the participants have contributed to this celebrations of man the discoverer. However, the organization has made a special effort to respond to the motto decided by the International Exhibition Office and a highly ambitious exhibition plan. Thus, the global discourse implicit in the age of discoveries is developed in a series of pavilions whose content form a coherent whole. The 15th century, navigation, nature, energy, telecommunications, the environment, and the universe. We decided that an exhibition of the state of the world at the beginning of the age of discoveries would make its origins easier to understand. The pavilion of the 15th century and the present exhibitions are devoted to this. Thus, art and culture around 1492 responds to an aim which is consistent with that of Expo 92 itself, universality. This represents a radical revision of Eurocentric concepts of history. What was the culture and artistic state of the world at the time of the discovery of America? The fragmentary character of the world at that time and the real difficulties in communication between different peoples do not negate the existence of infections or transmission between them, and a knowledge of the culture background of 1492 is naturally of fundamental interest to anyone who wishes to understand the world which began in the shape from that year onwards. The richness of the contributions and the relevance of the selections made this exhibition a cultural event which will be of interest to both the general public and specialists. 1992 Seville Universal Exposition. Says, our thanks to the following museums, institutions, and private collections which have contributed to art and culture around 1492. We have them from Austria, Belgium, China, Colombia, Czechoslovakia, Denmark, Dominican Republic, Egypt, France, Germany, Greece, Guatemala, Hungary, India, Italy, Japan, Korea, Mexico, Netherlands. And let's see, gosh, it goes for another whole page of countries. And well, Nigeria, Portugal, Republic of Singapore, Spain, Switzerland, Turkey, oh, there's United States, Vatican, and then they thank all of these people, hundreds. The night of Saturday, 31 December 1492, was a sad one for the dauntless lions that guard one of the Alhambra's loveliest patios. Perhaps the moon was reflected in the water in the cup that even today their stone bodies appear to support. Perhaps Boabdil, who a few hours later would hand over Muslim Granada to the Christian kings of Spain, looked for the last time at the engraving which made the fountain gracing the patio more than just a fountain. Liquid silver which slips between jewels, whiteness and transparent beauty without equal. Water and marble confine the gaze. We know not which of the two is in motion. Can you not see how the water flows to the sides and finding no obstacle hides in the ducts? I like a lover's eyelids flowing with tears, bidden for fear of being surprised. What is it but a cloud that sheds its blessing on the lions? Like the hand of the Caliph which is outstretched to pour gifts over the lions of war. O you who look in the Caliph with respect, stop the lions that are lying in wait from showing their ferocity. O direct descendants of the answer, inheritance of greatness that will permit you to destroy those who come from above. May the peace of God be eternally with you in the multiplication of joys, in the grief of your enemies. What the verses clamored for never took place. The lions never showed their ferocity. On Monday, 2 January 1492, 3 banners waved in the breeze above Alhambra, Granada, highest tower, one flaunting the cross of Cardinal Mendoza, one displaying the scalloped shell of Santiago to the wind, and one emblazoned with the arms of Castile, the church. the Crusades and political power, and achieved after centuries the submission of a culture and the Christianization of Europe. The desire to submit men and culture to one's will is a vain one. Neither one nor the other will submit. They are like reeds that bend before the wind but never break, because their freedom does not lie in the wings that would enable them to fly, but in the roots that fix them in the earth. In all cultures and through every age, a sap common to all runs through these same roots. Art, which is what is art? Man also himself. This questions this day after day without even having ceased to create art, as he has never ceased to live, yet still one wonders what life is. We do not know, and it matters little, because when we think we have discovered its secret, it runs through our fingers like water trickling from a fountain. I need to fix my bird bath out behind my kitchen. I unplugged it. I had to turn it off. I need to put in new sealant. It's leaking. Who, like the Chinese teacher, has not tried to step inside a painted landscape and not return from it? Who has not tried to escape from reality, to take refuge in illusion, paint or landscape, reality or illusion? There is only art. Art takes man across the world and is capable of transporting him from today into past worlds, because the truth is that the world changes little. It remains the same. Its manifestation and expressions may vary, but its essence does not. When contemplating the art of any age, we immerse ourselves in time and eliminate space. Geographical, historical, and cultural limits are of little use. The general imposes itself upon the particular, and the essential upon the anecdotal. Art and culture around 1492 endeavors to show that which is common and essential to for the principal areas of culture that existed 500 years ago, from the Islamic to the Oriental, from the European to the American, from the African to the Byzantine. None of these cultures was a hortus conclusus. None was born at that time, and none, despite the illusion of history, became extinct during it. The culture of the world were not lost islands in a barren ocean, whether it made their presence felt or not. They were true neighbors because the characteristics of each fed the fantasies of others. The promised lands, the Eldorados, the Edens, the Arcadias could equally well have been found in the West as in the East, in Africa or in America, because the place in which they were really to be found was in the mind of man. Geographical proximity, or the lack of it, was not the only factor that fed these dreams of greatness. The desire of the riches of men's appetites for power also played their part. It was not only the geographical factor that incited men to leave their homelands to discover and conquer. Man had always created his own worlds, universities that helped make his own mortality honorable and acceptable, a cosmos that made him dream of a future as utopia as that of the land of utopia itself. However, the gods and heroes that governed those worlds were imperfect, as the men that had created them and the later. Rebelling against their own creation looked for other means to dominate that which they were incapable of understanding. I'll stop right there for now and take a look in here and see how this is sounding. See what I've done.